What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? I just wanted to come and talk a little bit about a few things that we all tend to experience in our life. I felt like I was kind of guided to make this video spiritually, and so I'm gonna try my best to explain, what's in my mind. But most of us, not even most of us, all of us, we go through life having our ups and downs, for a short period. We may be, loving life, enjoying life. Everything's going good. Our relationship is going good. Our job, our money. I just bought a new house. Like, there's periods where we're on a high. But there's also the opposite. There's periods where, everything seems to be going downwards. Everything seems to be going bad. One thing after another, one negative situation after another negative situation. And some of these pitfalls, can get us questioning life and questioning ourselves and where we are in life and where we fit in life. I too have experienced the ups and downs of life. But when it came to negative situations, for me, negative periods where, things were just going bad, there were always times where I felt like I could get myself out of the situation. Though I may have asked God for help to get out of that situation, I still kind of felt like I was in control, or at least I thought I was in control. So when things got better, of course I thank God, but I don't think I was as sincere because I kind of felt like I was in control of myself getting out of that negative predicament. But I can say there's gonna be moments in your life where you're gonna be in a rut that you don't know how to get out of, that you can't fix yourself. And I have experienced one of those in my life. Well, two of those. One is, of course, when my brother passed. It was a situation where I didn't necessarily know how I was going to get through this and get over this, and if I was ever going to get through it. That was once. And the second time was most recently, where I felt like it was a problem I couldn't fix. It was kind of out of my control. And situations like that, you will be called by God. And I know it may sound weird when I say that, because you're like, what do you mean you be called? Is he literally gonna, call you, hit you up on the phone? Or how is he gonna deliver this message to you? So let me give you my experience. My experience was I was faced with a problem, and I realized that I couldn't get myself out of the problem. I couldn't fix the issue myself. And so what did I do? I went to outside forces. I went to different people. I listened to different people, podcasts, YouTubes, even close associates, friends, and things like that. I went to them and asked them, their opinions on things, their opinions on situations. Though I'm very logical and I'm very rational in my thinking, I listen to what people say, but I'm not quick to go all in on what people say. I still use my brain, and maybe the things they say, I filter out and kind of make sense out of the things that they tell me to help, create a thought for myself. So I don't really go off of other people. I may use a little bit of what they say to help generate a well-conceived thought for myself. And I realized that there was nothing anybody could say to me that was going to help the situation, at least not the way that I wanted to fix the situation. So randomly, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I came across a YouTube video where I came across a preacher or something and he was preaching the word, or I don't know what it was. I can't really tell you what triggered me, but one day I woke up and God was the first person I went to. And I soon got super deep into the word and trying to understand him. And in a way, I was looking for wisdom. And you want wisdom, you go to the Bible. There's a ton of wisdom on how you should live your life and how one should act accordingly in life. And I went to that because I felt like it was going to help me the most. And I know God led me to it because one day I just woke and it struck me. And let me tell you, I never like really watch pastors or preachers on YouTube. Anytime I listened to a pastor or a preacher, it was in person. It was at church. So randomly, one day I woke up, God pushed me to listening to people preach on YouTube, like Sunday service and things like that. And it allowed me to really connect with him more than I've ever connected in my life. I've always been religious. I've always believed in Jesus. I always believed he died for my sins, all that. I've always believed that. But your relationship with him doesn't really become real until you're faced with a situation that you can't fix yourself and you have to ask him to fix. Like literally, I had to go to him. Like, can you help fix this situation? Can you help restore me? Can you help fix my issues? Can you help me in this area? Because it is out of my hands. I can't do it. I've tried over and over and I failed at all the times that I've tried to do it myself. So I need your help. So your relationship won't be real close with him until you come across a situation where there's nothing you can do and everything that's in balance, everything you want, you have to rely on him for. And when I was able to put my issues and my struggles in his hands, it allowed me to have such a more stress-free life. Because it's different when you are trying to fix the problems yourself, because you're constantly thinking about the issue. You're constantly trying to fix the issue and you're realizing over and over that you can't fix it. There's nothing that you can do to fix it. And when you're able to take a step back and put it in God's hands and have faith, belief, and trust that he can solve it for you and that he can fix the issue for you, it's like taking a huge weight off your shoulders. It makes things become a lot more easier in life, and that's all that he wants. And I understand that when we go through these pitfalls in life, see, the regular person that maybe is not religious will say, it's just a random occurrence of life. It's just the nature. It's just the art of nature. It's just we go through these ups and downs. It's something that everybody goes through. But when you're religious, we look at those situations differently. A lot of times, now we do believe in the randomness of life. As a follower of Christ, we believe in the randomness. Not everything is designed by God. Not everything happens because of God influencing the situation. But there's some things that he will create to get a certain outcome. Now, these past, I would say 10 years, I haven't been going to him like I should be. I haven't been praying to him. I haven't been talking to him. I haven't been getting close to him. There was periods where I hadn't been to church in 2 years, but yet I call myself a follower of Christ. So I was very contradictory. And sometimes he will put you through bad situations, negative situations, to bring you back to him, to make you realize that, hey, I'm here. I've been here this whole time and you've been drifting away from me. I need you to come back to me. I need you to reconnect with me. So he'll put you in bad situations. Sometimes you may be, going through a tough time at work, going through issues with your partner, a lot of toxicity going on. And when you're in like negative situations that are not good for your body and situations that are pulling you further away from him, he'll disrupt everything. He'll disrupt your whole life. He'll disrupt everything to bring you back to him, to put your focus back onto him. And when he feels that he's, number one in your life again, he'll restore everything that was broken. And it's usually better than it was before. There's so many negative situations that have happened in my life, negative periods, where I bounce back 2 times better. I bounced back way better than where I was before the negative situation. So when you're able to put him first again, he'll fix what he intentionally broke. And he'll make it even better than it was before, because now you're praising him again. Now you're putting him first again. So you shouldn't look at these situations as breaking, your entire life. Your life is crumbling now. No, you should be looking at these situations as times to get closer to him, times to understand yourself better, times to realize what you need to fix about yourself. Where have you been going wrong in life that he has had to break up everything in your life just to bring you close? You've been doing something wrong. And most of the time, you know what you've been doing wrong. So it's about fixing that and getting closer to him and making sure that he's first in your life and he'll fix whatever he intentionally broke. So I just, woke up today, and spiritually, I felt to give people that message today, because it has had a huge effect on me. Like developmentally wise, like my life is totally different than it was, I would say 5-6 months ago mentally, because I've been in this kind of period where it's like almost like how the Muslims go to Mecca, or like how the Israelites were stranded for 40 years. It's my pilgrimage. It's my period of getting close to him and restoring myself and fixing the broken parts of me and fixing, things that essentially has been affecting my life. And now I'm aware of them. I'm cognizant of where I've been messing up. And when you sit down and you're spending all this time alone, you can really break yourself apart and figure out what message is he trying to get across to you? What is he trying to say? What do I need to fix? You really start to see how his plan is unfolding. And the thing about like church and stuff like that, and hearing people preach, is that for some reason, I feel like the church gives me a feeling unlike anything else has ever given me. I can go to church. I can have not been to church in 2 years and go to church and spiritually feel so refreshed. Just like hearing the music, hearing the pastor preach. And for some reason, I feel like when I do go to church, or when I do pick up my phone, God is leading me to somebody who is delivering a message that he wants me to hear. Because when I get those messages and where I hear somebody preach, I'm like, he's preaching exactly what I'm going through right now. Like, it's almost like he knows, so he'll lead you. I was talking to somebody else recently about like getting spiritual, and she was talking about, I don't know who to pray to or who I'm even praying to when I do pray. And the thing is that what I've realized the most in my pilgrimage or in my aloneness is that we think we're in so much control. And the thing is that we were never in control in the first place. And that's what I had to learn. I was never going to be able to fix things, fix the situation. It's only him that can do it. And he wants you to ask for his help. And I always thought I was in control of the situation. It's pride, it's ego. Like, I can do this. I'm smart enough. I'm intelligent enough to fix this problem. I went to school that was built off of just, fixing processes, fixing companies from an operational standpoint. So I could do this. This can't be too hard for me. Once I was able to put my pride aside and my ego aside and realize that I was never in control, my entire life changed. I was no longer trying to fix things myself. I was no longer dealing with the stress and the disappointment and the anger of trying to fix things myself and not being able to. I was then able to just have to rely on him, to believe and trust in him, growing stronger in his word, listening to what he says I should do and how I should behave and how he will reward me off of becoming a righteous individual. So my favorite verse is John chapter 14. I can't remember the verse, maybe 14 or 15. But it goes, if ye should ask me of anything, I'll do it for him. I'll do it for you. It's my favorite verse because the thing about God is he's not the author of confusion and what he says and what he means. And in that verse, he says exactly what I needed for him. Anything you should ask of me, I'll do it for you. As long as, of course, you believe that, Christ is the Son of God, so as long as you are believing in his word, believing and trusting in him, he will do for you. He would move mountains for you. So I've been putting all my energy into him, all my energy into understanding him and trying to be more Christ-like and walking more in his ways. Instead of the sinful way I was moving before, saying what I want to people, doing what I want, being rude, not caring, being disrespectful at times, being super vocal, being aggressive, so I'm no longer trying to walk in that toxic light. And that light, that's a person that's angry all the time, that's, mad at the world all the time. I no longer want to walk in that light. And this transformation is not due to anybody but that Bible and him. There's nothing else or anybody else that I could praise except God and his word. The amount of wisdom that has came from it, the amount of level-headedness that has came from it, just my emotional temperament is totally different, and it's all due to him. So I just wanted to let you guys know that sometimes these negative times can feel long. They can, sometimes be a day, they could be a month, they could be an entire season. But when you spend that time alone, which is something that you need to do when you're going through these type of situations, because you need to see where you have been going wrong. Why are these things happening to you? And understanding that God is the one that you need to go to when you're in need of help. When you understand that, it's hard to be defeated. It's hard to be defeated. He's getting me through these seasons. He's getting me through these negative times. And when you go through negative times and you make it through, it makes you stronger. It makes you a stronger individual. It makes you able to withstand more. So God may test you even harder next time. So you may get presented with a harder challenge down the road, because God will never give you more than you can handle. But as long as you continue to get through negative situations, he's going to try to apply more and more to your plate. Because when he applies more to your plate, it means you come closer to him, because you now realize that he's the one that can fix your problem. So the tougher the problem becomes, the more you need him. And all he wants you to do is to come to him and be close with him and have a relationship with him. So anytime you guys are going through a situation, a tough season, a tough month, a tough year, I want you guys to think about reaching out to God for help, and not other humans, not other people who are sinful, who have their own biased opinions. They may say something just because of their bitterness towards somebody else that they shared a similar situation with. That doesn't mean their thought is correct. We need to be able to listen to what people say, but take it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, when you want answers, when you want questions to be answered, go to God. Ask God to speak to you. Ask God to show you, the way. Ask God to walk through you. I promise you, he'll get you through any situation. I've been using him And my life is totally different. My life is totally changed and for the better. And there's nobody else I can thank but him for that. So sometimes when, people that are Christ-like or that believe in Christ or walking like Christ, we can say things that may be hard to believe because they're not in the physical world. Like, oh, I was touched spiritually. Oh, like God woke me up one day and I just went to the Bible. It's hard to explain that to the rational mind because it's an experience, a personal experience. So I can't explain to you what it's like to be touched or what it's like to be led in a direction and you're being led or you're being touched by something. This is something that's outside of me that is leading me to this, especially when it's a behavior that you have never done before. When you experience that in your life, I'll just say you'll know what I mean by being touched. When you experience that negative period and you go to him for help, you'll then realize what I mean by being touched, because it's only then when you get super close to him that you can really feel his power. And it's hard for you to believe it today or hard for you to think about it right now currently because you're not close to him. You're not connected with him. He doesn't feel you. You don't feel him. You're not one of him. He's not one of you. You have to get that closeness with him in order to really feel him directing your life, to really feel him leading you in different directions. But you have to ask him for that. You have to ask him to guide you in decision making. You have to ask him to guide you, throughout your daily life. Ask him to be there with you. But that's all I have for you guys today. Like I said, once again, I was spiritually driven to make this video. I literally was not gonna do it because I didn't want to get too religious. Religiously, is that a word? But I didn't want to get too religious in the videos. But when I was going through a few books that I had where I had written notes, the same message was in one book that was in the other book. And the book was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. And the other book was Meditations by the Stoic philosopher king, Marcus Aurelius. The same message was in both books. And I was like, he's telling me, that's what I mean by being touched. He's telling me, like, make the video. Because I said I wasn't going to do it. But then I go and read information, content, exact same content, one from thousands of years ago and one from the 70s, or maybe even before that. He was in the Holocaust. So that's what, the 1920s. But same information, same notes that we're taking, same topic. He was telling me to make this video. So I was led spiritually and I made it. But I thank you guys for checking this video out, and I'll be back with more. I catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.